Breaking news.
A lot of people believe there's more than one person involved. Where are the footprints? There's no drag marks, there's no scuff marks, there's nothing that shows there was any type of fight. If you have two assailants in that home, why do you have to get physical with somebody 84 years old? You can control her without hitting her. I don't have anything right now, factually, that dictates there was more than one person.
This is 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. To the world, she's the mother of a famous news anchor. To the residents of Catalina Foothills, Arizona, she's the Sharp-as-a-Tack neighbor who never misses a Sunday service. But at 9:50 p.m. on January 31st, 2026, Nancy walked into her home for the very last time. Within 4 hours, a series of calculated, high-tech failures would trigger a federal crisis. And for the person responsible? This single night is about to cost them their freedom, their reputation, and potentially their life. Before we dive into the hidden footage that the FBI kept classified for weeks, I have to ask, if you saw a neighbor's security camera being covered, would you call the police or mind your business? Let us know in the comments. Accountability starts with the community. And if you believe justice should always be served, or hit that subscribe button now and let us know where you are watching from. We're uncovering the truth they tried to hide. This account reconstructs a high-profile missing person case using patterns documented in official Pima County Sheriff's records and FBI forensic timelines. Names and specific sequences reflect public testimony.
Tommaso, I've lived in this house for 50 years. I think I can manage the 20 feet to the kitchen.
All right.
Go home to Annie.
All right.
The investigation focuses on a 2.5-mile radius in the Tucson suburbs. Leading the charge is Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos, a veteran with decades of experience who knew immediately that this wasn't a runaway case. Nancy Guthrie had limited mobility. She required daily medication for survival. She couldn't walk 50 yards without assistance. Yet, when deputies arrived the next morning, the house was a tomb. Her phone was on the charger. Her medication was on the counter. Her purse was on the table. But Nancy was gone. The first sign that this was a professional hit came from the digital evidence. Frame by frame, investigators began to piece together a nightmare. Looking closely at the top left corner of the screen, a shadow moves with military precision. This isn't a random burglar. And this individual is wearing a thermal masking suit and professional-grade tactical gloves. The security camera shows the intruder reaching up. Sheriff Nanos noted in a later deposition. They didn't just break the camera, they de-authenticated the MAC address from the local Wi-Fi first. This person knew the tech, but they made one mistake. They didn't know about Nancy's pacemaker. At 2:28 a.m., the bedside monitor, a device designed to transmit heart data to her doctor, recorded a critical proximity alert. The device was moved out of range. Nancy wasn't walking. She was being carried. Outside the front door, the most chilling evidence of all was found. A trail of small, dark droplets. Multiple angles recorded the forensics team kneeling by the flower bed, a local news report stated. The blood was fresh, and it was Nancy's. The kidnapper thought they had cleared the digital trail, but the physical trail was screaming. And then the first message arrived. Not to the family, not to the police, but to a local news station. A ransom note demanding $6 million in Bitcoin. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit stepped in within 6 hours. They realized the ransom note contained a detail that only someone inside the house could know. the color of the pajamas Nancy was wearing that night. This wasn't a stranger. This was someone who had been watching, someone who knew her schedule, her family, and her vulnerabilities. A man was caught on a neighbor's dash cam blocks away at 3 a.m. When you see who it is, your jaw will drop. In a kidnapping case, do you think the police should prioritize the ransom demand or the physical search? But type ransom or search in the comments. Stick with us because the proof of life video just surfaced. And the FBI says it's the most disturbing thing they've seen in a decade. By Monday morning, the Pima County Sheriff's Department wasn't just looking for a kidnapper. They were looking for a traitor. When a high-profile figure like Savannah Guthrie is involved, the first rule of the FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit is simple. Look at the people who have keys. The deposition of lead investigator Sarah Miller reveals a chilling detail. According to court records obtained by our team, there was no forced entry at the back door. The deadbolt hadn't been picked. It had been turned from the inside or opened with a duplicate. Suddenly, the warm family dinner on January 31st felt less like a goodbye and more like a setup. Then investigators turned their cameras toward the son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni. Multiple angles recorded a dark SUV circling the Catalina Foothills block 3 times between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. The FBI reported during a closed-door briefing. That SUV matched the make and model of a vehicle registered to a private security firm Tommaso had consulted for in the past. When questioned, Tommaso's demeanor shifted from grieving relative to defensive suspect.
I dropped her off. I saw the garage go down. Why are you looking at my GPS? I was home with Annie. Check the Nest cam at our house.
We did, Tommaso. Your camera glitched for exactly 42 minutes starting at 1:15 a.m. Care to
While Tommaso was in the hot seat, the tech experts at the FBI's cyber division were hitting a wall. The kidnapper wasn't using a burner phone. They were using an encrypted satellite uplink. Internal communications between the FBI and Google Nest technicians show a desperate race against time, an investigative report states. The intruder used a signal jammer, but they didn't realize Nancy's smart refrigerator had a separate backup battery and a low-frequency pinger. Frame by frame, you can see the signal leap, the lead tech explained. The pinger moved. It didn't go toward the highway. It went toward the rugged, unforgiving terrain of the Santa Catalina Mountains. But then, the case took a turn that left even the most seasoned detectives speechless. A second ransom note arrived, but this time via a physical courier, a local DoorDash driver who had no idea what he was carrying. The statement from the courier driver is part of the official incident report. He was tipped $500 in cash to drop a birthday card at the KOLD TV station. Inside wasn't a card. It was a Polaroid of Nancy Guthrie sitting in a folding chair, holding a copy of Sunday's newspaper. She was alive, but her eyes were fixed on something behind the camera with pure terror. As the $6 million Bitcoin deadline approached, the Guthrie family made a choice that divided the nation. Savannah Guthrie, usually the one asking the questions, went on camera to answer them. Footage of Savannah Guthrie, pale and resolute, flanked by her siblings. Savannah, video statement. We received your message. We understand. We are ready to talk. But we need proof of life that isn't a still photo. We need to hear her voice. Following Savannah Guthrie's televised plea for a proof of life, the world waited. The family had signaled they were ready to negotiate, but the response wasn't a phone call or a video. It was digital ghosting. While the family waited for the real abductors, the deep truth of the investigation was being muddied by a cruel opportunist. This is where the FBI and Sheriff Nanos had to pivot. A California man, Eduardo Rodriguez, was caught in a digital sting after posing as the kidnapper. Official federal records confirm. He sent a fake demand for $500,000, claiming he had Nancy in a warehouse in Los Angeles. And now that distraction has cost the investigation 3 days of manpower. By the time Rodriguez was in handcuffs, and the real trail in Arizona was getting cold, the investigation took a dark, undeniable turn when the FBI's evidence response team arrived at Nancy's home. While the house appeared undisturbed to the naked eye, forensic light technology revealed a different story. Forensic testing later determined that DNA from blood found at the entrance belonged to Nancy Guthrie. Official records state this wasn't just a few drops. Media outlets captured footage of a visible trail leading toward the front door. The security camera outside captured the Pima County Sheriff's Department, placing yellow evidence markers over 19 distinct droplets. This is the deep truth. Nancy Guthrie, an 84-year-old woman with limited mobility, did not leave that house under her own power. She was injured, and she was taken. And the most calculated part of this crime wasn't the abduction itself. It was the digital blackout. At 1:47 a.m., Nancy's doorbell camera was manually disconnected. The FBI released footage recovered from Google Nest back-end systems showing a masked and gloved individual. Frame by frame, you can see the intruder reach for the device with professional precision. This wasn't a smash and grab. The intruder knew exactly where the cameras were. Even more chilling? Nancy's bedside pacemaker monitor missed its 2:28 a.m. transmission. In the world of medical forensics, this is a digital death knell. It means the victim was moved away from her life-saving equipment in the middle of the night. On February 2nd, the investigation shifted from a missing person to a federal kidnapping case. A letter was sent to KOLD-TV in Tucson. It wasn't a generic note. It contained details about the house that only someone who had been inside would know. Authorities confirmed that the FBI is treating these notes with the highest level of urgency. Multiple angles recorded the Guthrie family's reaction to a second demand: $6 million in Bitcoin, with a deadline of February 9th. The deep truth here is the cruelty of the copycat. While the FBI was hunting the real kidnapper, they had to arrest a man in California for posing as the abductor to extort the family. This mistake cost the family precious days of focus, the lead agent noted. They were fighting a war on two fronts: the real kidnappers in the shadows and the vultures trying to profit from the tragedy. The security camera on a neighbor's property captured the moment the FBI breached the residence. But the man was later released. No Nancy, no suspects, just a trail that went cold at the edge of the desert. Multiple angles recorded the tactical units moving in stack formation toward the rear of the house. Local news footage captured. The world held its breath. If Nancy was inside, this was the moment of rescue. If she wasn't, it was a devastating dead end. The security camera on a neighboring house shows a man being led out in handcuffs. But the high-stakes interrogation that followed yielded a hollow truth. Official statements from the FBI later confirmed the man was released without charges. The lead was a ghost, and the deep truth of the Rio Rico raid wasn't a rescue. It was the realization that the kidnappers were staying one step ahead of the most advanced surveillance in the world. As the investigation stretched into its third week, the consequences cascade hit the Guthrie family with brutal force. Savannah Guthrie, who had spent decades reporting on the tragedies of others, became the tragic headline. Testimony from family, friends, and colleagues paints a picture of a house under siege, according to a report from People. Savannah is in a state of functional agony, waiting by a phone that only rings with hoaxes. On February 24th, the family made a move out of pure desperation. They released a new video, not to the kidnappers, but to the public. Savannah, video statement. We are offering $1 million. No questions asked. We just want her back. We are prepared for the possibility that she may have already passed. But we need to know. The forensic psychologist's review of this video points to a broken negotiating loop. The family was now negotiating with a vacuum. The $6 million Bitcoin deadline had passed on February 9th at 5 p.m. No confirmation of life. No further instructions. Just total, crushing silence. By early March, the investigation officially expanded. The FBI's legal attaché in Mexico City coordinated with the Agencia de Investigación Criminal. The security camera at the Nogales port of entry has been reviewed for over 4,000 hours of footage. A federal source confirms. Investigators are looking for a specific vehicle. A silver SUV with mismatched plates seen near Nancy's home on the night of the 31st. Yet now that oversight is costing the investigation its momentum. Because the border is so porous in the southern Tucson sector, the deep truth is that Nancy could have been moved across the line within 3 hours of the 2:28 a.m. pacemaker failure. We are now over 50 days into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The $1 million reward is still active. The FBI has upgraded the case to a top priority kidnapping, but the trail is freezing over. The career of Sheriff Chris Nanos and the lead FBI agents is now being scrutinized by the public. How does a famous woman's mother vanish from a high-end suburb with cameras on every corner and not leave a single trace after the front porch? Do you believe the kidnappers were professional mercenaries? Or was this an inside job by someone who knew the security flaws of the house? Comment professional or inside below. Sheriff Chris Nanos, a veteran of 4 decades in law enforcement, arrived on the scene within the hour. He didn't treat it like a missing person case. He treated it like a homicide crime scene from minute 1. Body camera captured Nanos standing over the trail of blood near the front door, our source reveals. He saw the missing doorbell camera. The wires were cleanly snipped, not ripped. This was a professional entry. Sheriff Nanos, press briefing. She is 84 years old. She cannot walk 50 yards. When we saw her medication and her cell phone still on the charger, the missing label was gone. We knew she had been taken against her will. Nanos's aggressive stance led to the massive multi-agency raid in Rio Rico on February 11th. Based on cell site simulator data, Nanos authorized a high-risk search of a property near the border. Multiple angles recorded the tactical teams breaching the residence. Sheriff Nanos was on the perimeter, coordinating with the FBI and Border Patrol. The deep truth of that raid? They found a man. They questioned him for 12 hours, and they had to let him go. The lead was a dead-end ping. For Nanos, it was a devastating blow to a career built on getting results. We are now over 50 days into the disappearance, The $1 million reward offered by the family and the $100,000 reward offered by the FBI remain unclaimed. The security camera at Nancy's home is still active. Every night at 1:47 a.m., the time the camera was first cut, investigators review the feed, hoping for a sign. The career of Chris Nanos may very well be defined by this one night in the Catalina Foothills. Until the person in the mask is identified, the case remains a haunting reminder that in the desert, silence is the loudest sound of all. Do you believe the professional nature of the camera removal suggests the kidnapper was someone Nancy knew? Or was she targeted because of her daughter's high profile? Comment inside or targeted below.
It piles pain upon pain.